I love it, man, for sure. The people, the community that we're a part of, just the life, the speed. And so I feel like, obviously I'm a Detroit guy through and through, but I feel like California is more my speed, my wife's speed, and like in regards to how like we live life. And so I think there's this misconception about California, like everybody's just like so chill, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's certain aspects that's probably like that, like especially Northern Cal or whatever it may be, or people closer to the water. But bro, nah, man, like it's just community. There's some good people out here, and so yeah, we're glad to be out here for sure.
What made you decide to move to California?
Man,
your family and everything over there.
Yes, and so that was a completely God thing, bro. Like I said, the moment, if I'm describing it in a natural way, but yeah, it was a completely God moment where, so we were in Detroit for 2 years, and I thought I was gonna be home for good. So like before then, we did some ministry, some other spots, but then we, to be honest, man, it was just a crazy season. It was just like stuff popping off and stuff happening, and I'm like, man, this is what it's supposed to be. Am I finished? You know, and like, is this the end? And so, honestly, like we just kind of took a season. We were just chilling, not doing much ministry stuff, and then and it's in that moment or season or chilling is where we kind of felt directing and guiding. And so sometimes, like, you know, in life, like we're staying busy, you know, but sometimes we need those moments where we're just chilling to, you know, open our hearts, open our minds to, you know, direction, you know, what God wants us to do. And so like if we're just constantly moving, you know, we're not hearing or listening, you know what I mean? And so yeah, it was just a moment of just that chilling and hearing and listening. And to be honest, it's crazy because like everybody always has, you know, connected. And so where we're at now, obviously I'm a pastor at a church here in SoCal, and then my pastor went to our Bible school, and so that's the connection. And so but honestly, man, it was just one day, you know, just, you know, our school has like this resource where we're, you know, they put information about, you know, churches and, you know, in their network, and so we just chopped it up, you know.
Did you reach out?
Yeah, I reached out to him. Okay. But it was just kind of like random, you know what I mean? Like kind of like like I don't know, just kind of a random type thing. But then he chopped it up, and then we just started to develop a relationship for sure, and just chatting up. And so yeah, man, he's a solid guy, and just like I never laughed so hard in some of those conversations, you know, when we first met and connected and stuff, and just kind of like one accord and just his heartbeat for people. And so like that's what registered with my heart, my wife's heart, you know what I mean? And so
shout out to Pastor
shout out to Pastor Troy, man. Shout out to Pastor Troy for sure. And so yeah, man, and so after we chopped it up, man, I was like, man, we got to come check this out, you know, and what they were building, what they're doing here, you know. And so man, we're glad to be a part, you know, after that whole saga of, you know, connecting and stuff. And so yeah, man, passionate about people, passionate about people for real. I think there can be a thing where you're like passionate about people, but you're not passionate about people for real. Does that make sense?
Like, as like, oh my gosh, I love people, but then like, you know, want to actually go that extra mile and deal with it.
Life's messy. Relationships are messy, and so like the community that we're part of, you know, my pastor, you know, our pastor, you know, like he's passionate about people for real. So yeah, it's just cool to be a part. So yeah, that's just a little bit of the origin story.
So walk us through, like, because I'm pretty sure that there's people out there that could watch this. It's like, I'm considering making a transition like that in my life, a big jump, a big leap. So what went through your head is like, oh, bruh, this is actually like a real thing that I can walk into.
Nah, that's good.
Moving across the country with nobody out here except for my job. Like, that mental, like, what's that looking like, man?
Yeah, I think with anybody like navigating transition, it's got to have like a step of faith attached to it. And so like there could be a dream, but if there's a dream without faith, it's like, you know what I mean? In the sense of like, any dream or any direction that you get, you know, from God, like it has to have a level of like, okay, wherewithal, like, all right, I'm just gonna do it, I'm gonna trust you. And so that was kind of the same thing, you know. Once after we connected with our pastor, like, man, we want to be a part of this. We came to visit after those conversations. We're like, man, we want to be a part of this. I don't care how. I don't have to get a salary. We just want to come and like help and support somehow. And so we chopped it up, and like it was this interim before, you know, we became a part of the community about maybe 3 to 6 months, where it's like I wasn't working at the church, and so like I had to make resources for me and my family. And so it was at the time it was just it was just 3 of us. And so like I had about 3 or 4 months where I'm like, all right, I gotta have a job. And so, after we made the decision, we had no job. I had no job coming down here, or I didn't have a place to stay either.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no place to stay. We loaded up the truck, we loaded up the van, and literally we just started heading towards this way. And so that's why I was like encouraging, like whenever there's like that God dream or where God is directing you, like there has to be a level of faith attached to it. And
so as soon as he gave you that, all right,
we're going. Yeah, we're doing it. And so I knew I had 3 or 4 months because
and then I looked at be like, oh, you sure?
No, she was with it. She was with it. Yeah. Okay. Get your ride or die. No, she was with it. I think like us as humans, right? We try to figure out the stuff naturally. Like, all right, I mean, like, I had 3 kids, and so we literally had no place to stay. And so we had some fillers, but then like we didn't hear anything. But I was like, let's just drive, And literally, the moment like as we were driving, like every couple of hours, something would happen. And so like maybe like 5 hours in, some fillers we thrown out from an apartment. Like, hey, we got an apartment for you. Just open up. Literally these people are moving out. Drive a couple hours. Like couple job opportunities came. For that interim time before we joined the church on staff, and so it was crazy, man. And so like I think that's been my life in a nutshell. Just like trusting God, and so like a kid moving from Detroit to Oklahoma was the same thing, bro. Like literally, I was 17, didn't know anybody. I was like, all right, Mom, I'm supposed to go here. She's like, all right, I trust you, and literally like I went there, visited the school, then literally everything just started to work out. Like before I left, I had a job, I had a place to stay, nice. I had friends, like it was just crazy. And so it's
so
always.
You think that move helped you for?
Oh yeah,
like, I kind of already did it.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, obviously, I didn't know this was coming, at that point, 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah, 100%. Yeah, just because obviously faith can either be stagnant or it can grow, and so. And the only way faith grows is if you're put in positions for it to grow, if that makes sense. And so, 100%. Yeah, I don't know if I did move to Oklahoma, if I would be
California.
That's for sure. I mean, it took us like 4 days to get here too. Because we had the Meineke, and then we had the Meineke truck, and then we had the van, and so you can only go a certain speed. But yeah,
wait, y'all drove separately.
Yeah, we drove separately.
Oh,
yes.
Dang.
The girls are in the van. The girls are in the minivan, and then I was in the truck. Yeah, I had nobody to ride with.
Dang, that's real.
So
that's real, though.
At one point, I put my oldest, and she's probably like 7 or 8, and so. But I was like, hey, come in the Meineke with me. And literally we drove like 5 minutes up the road. She grabbed the door. I was like, all right, you're going back. You're going back. Sorry. You're canceled. You're canceled. She almost opened the door. I'm like, you're done. And so it was just me solo dolo for 4 days, almost like 40 hours of driving. Yeah, it was crazy.
Was that peaceful or like you were in your head a lot?
I think in my head, we kind of said the whole, like, what did it feel like just transition? I think I was just processing all that in real time. You know what I mean? Of like, all right, I'm moving here. Like, but then as those, like I told you, those opportunities started to come, it was like, it just started making a more enjoyable experience. And then like we stopped at a couple places. I'm
about to ask you about that. Where'd you stop at?
Yes, we stopped in Arizona. I might not do an order. So
I'm gonna pull the map right now.
Yeah, so pull up the map. I think we stopped in Arizona. We did Utah.
They from Detroit?
Yeah. I think
you skipped a lot of places, bro.
Yes. Oh, sorry. You want me to start from the very beginning?
From Detroit to Arizona.
Let me see. Dang, it's gonna get real quiet. Let me keep talking. So, U.S. map.
Okay, there's a map. There you go. So
here we go.
We pulled up a map. That's actually.
Oh, there we go.
I'm over here on Google Maps. They actually have a map pulled up.
Where is it?
Oh, I had a colorful map. That one's cool. Oh, here we go.
Where's Detroit at?
Michigan, bro.
Michigan.
No, where's Michigan at?
Hill to the victor, valiant hill to the conquering heroes.
Oh, okay.
My man basically lived in Canada.
Oh, I got cricket, so my thing got hit. Oh, there we go.
There's the actual map right here. Here you go.
Oh no, I need the states. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, the states on there.
Oh, you actually with the map. So
I told you I went to the actual map.
I think we did this route. So Michigan to Indiana to Illinois to Missouri.
You stop in Chicago?
No, we didn't stop in Chicago. Oklahoma. Nah, is that right? Yeah. Oklahoma. And then I don't think we bled into Texas though. Oh, possibly Texas for a little bit. Yeah, Texas, New Mexico. What's that? Arizona. No, we went in Wyoming. We went up. Oh, okay. We went this way. We went the top way. So we went to Illinois, Iowa, Nebraska, Wyoming, Utah. Utah,
wonder why you was in your
California. There it is.
There ain't nothing out there, dog.
I could live in Wyoming. I'm not even gonna lie. I loved it. It was nothing there, but I loved it. Yes, I loved it.
Nah.
It's my Yay era, I guess. But no, Wyoming. Yeah, but I could live in Wyoming. It was fire. Yeah. So yeah, it was a fun trip though. It was really pretty. Yeah. Arizona, just the scenery and stuff like that. I want to get back out there. Arizona, Utah for sure. But yeah, it was
I really want
cool.
to visit the Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon. Yeah, I've been trying to plan a trip. I want to do the RV.
Oh, the RV
Yeah, I want to do the RV vibe. I don't know why. I've always wanted to do it. I haven't.